Hello viewers, welcome once again to yet another edition of Let's Talk Standards. Today we have got an eminent scientist from the Bureau of Indian Standards, none other than Shri Sanjay Pant ji. Welcome to the podcast, sir.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you as in this show, sir. Sir, you joined almost more than 3 decades back with BIS. So how do you see that the role of a standardization scientist has evolved during these decades?
Maybe I joined in 1989. Standardization in general, I would like to say, is same. The issue is to benchmark a product with respect to quality. So the characterizing a product, its services or systems, and evolving test methodologies to ensure conformity of products. All these things remain the same. Only thing, there is an information boom today. And we had to sit a long time in library those days. Compared to, there was no internet, there were no emails or those times. We used to write lot of communication letters.
Right.
And so that is the kind of technological difference is that, but fundamental of standardization remains the same.
Right.
So we have more tool. The scientists today are more agile. They have better knowledge about the developments happening worldwide while sitting at the same place.
Right.
We used to go to people, used to have discussions with them, try to know from other people, go to other libraries or BIS library and try to get more documents and books from outside the world, within the country also. So this is how. But those were also the days, and today's time is also appreciable.
Right. So what has been the most challenging of your projects and how did you navigate that, sir?
During the course of last 4 decades, I was involved in development of large number of standards, particularly in the civil engineering domain, on building materials and technological developments, different kind of housing technologies, different test methodologies, codes of design and good practices. But one area that reminds me is on construction project management. There were no standards on construction project management, and it took almost maybe 15 years to formulate the complete set of standards on construction project management. See, ultimately what happens, you have standards on various building materials and products. You have test methodologies also defined and standardized. You also have good construction practices. But the management at site is one of the areas where there are challenges, real challenges. So finally, because projects get delayed, they overshoot the defined timelines, cost overrun also happens, safety breaches also happen. So we could, over the period, after a lot of intensive work, indigenous work, we could formulate a series of standards on construction project management, including time management, cost management, quality management, health and safety management, scope management, procurement management, human resource management, then communication management, then risk management, then sustainability management and integration management. So that had been quite challenging. We could succeed that.
Oh, that's so nice to know. And I think, sir, you have been at the core of development of the National Construction Code of Standards. Like the entire process began in the, I think, in the decade of 1970s.
Yeah.
And then it gradually developed into the National Building Construction Standards 2026.
Yes.
So this evolution has been really path-breaking.
Yeah.
So how do you think that the acceptance of these gradual evolution has been taken by the various stakeholders all through the country?
Yeah, very rightly said. We have maybe more than 2,500 standards relating to the domain of buildings and civil engineering. There are more than 1,000 standards on various building materials. It's very difficult to know which are those standards, how those standards should be employed in different kind of activities. So it is very important that we have at one place a guide from where you can identify which are the options which are available in terms of types of building materials, types of construction technologies, their test methodologies which are available, codes of good practices, safety practices which should happen, how to design these structures against dead load, imposed load, wind load, snow load, earthquake forces, because India is a disaster prone country.
Right.
And then above all, when you have those structures, how to maintain these structures so that they remain durable and long lasting. So therefore, National Building Code was therefore first formulated in the year 1970 to answer all these issues and give a cogent and continuous reading from where one can understand the entire gamut of things. Then the code was revised in 1983, then there were a number of amendments also, and then I was involved in the revision of National Building Code 2005, and thereafter 2016, and currently we have in its different avatar National Building Construction Standards 2026. On its implementation, as you have asked, implementation of any standard or code or building code has always remained a challenge in the country. But I said there are certain issues associated with the building code which bring ease of its implementation, ease of referencing. So therefore, building code is now used countrywide in all building regulations of the country by the architects, by structural engineers, by construction engineers, by town planners, urban designers, landscape architects, builders, developers, constructors, building services engineers alike. So today it's vastly implemented building code, and it facilitates not only the regulation of buildings, it also facilitates the practices of professional engineers. And lastly, it is a very important source of, it's a very important educational material, and the entire civil engineering architecture education is largely based on Indian standards and National Building Code.
So are there some areas which you want to highlight that they are underutilized when we talk about the NBCS 2026 or the other related standards?
I don't see, in fact, these are underutilized, but one area which I would like to highlight is skill development. Okay. Still, there is a lot of scope for skill development of our building professionals. Okay. Therefore, we'll have to continue to, in spite of the document being very popular, we should not be complacent. And we should continue to have a lot of skill development program, training program and we do in fact at our National Institute of Training in Standardization, NITS, Noida. Yeah. We do otherwise also throughout the country. We go around the country, hold workshops, seminars, webinars, training programs, and we should continue to do that. Okay. For state government, central government, for building professionals, building material manufacturers and suppliers, contractors, developers, builders, for academic institutions, so that right from the academic level, the provisions of the code are well understood by the future professionals, which students are.
Right. I think in the contribution to that, you have written a lot of technical handbooks and papers in this regard. Yeah. So how do you think that the youngsters and the upcoming professionals are taking it? Do you have any feedback on that?
I think as a supplement to the National Building Code or National Building Construction Standards or number of civil engineering standards that we have formulated, we have written a number of technical papers in various journals. That's number one. We have also brought out some special publications within BIS also, subject-wise publications. And I remember recently I had written a reference handbook on building materials, classifying various building materials into different categories, understanding the commonality of various types of building materials, and making use and implementation of these standards very easy. I have one example for you and for my listeners to understand it. Is that, for example, somebody wants to make a masonry wall or so a simply wall. Right. So he can use a common burnt clay brick as per IS red brick, right. IS 1077. One can use perforated bricks, IS 2222, and one can use also hollow bricks. One can use calcium silicate bricks as per IS 4139. one can also use stabilized soil bricks as
Right.
per 1725. One has also option to use concrete blocks as per IS 2185 part 1, or solid or hollow blocks, lightweight concrete blocks as per 2185 part 2, or autoclave aerated concrete block as per IS 2185 part 3, or preformed foamed concrete block as per 2185 part 4, or one can use waste stone pieces as per IS 12440 for stone concrete block. And then one can use even large panel prefabricates the wall itself, or gypsum based large panel prefabricates. So what really happens, you have all these technological options, and for each option we have developed a product standard for that. We also have a series of test method standards. We have also developed codes of good practices for designing and using these products and methodologies and technologies. So this is how we are trying to make life easy for the professionals.
तो आप स्टैंडर्ड्स बनाने के साथ साथ हम स्किल डेवलपमेंट पर भी
Yes.
फोकस कर रहे हैं, और ये सारा जो कंटेंट है वो इसीलिए ही बनाया जा रहा है
Yes.
ताकि प्रोफेशनल्स उसको यूज कर सके.
Yeah.
सर, कोई ऐसा अनफिनिश्ड स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन प्रोजेक्ट या ऐसा कोई ड्रीम जो आप चाहते हो कि आगे जो फ्यूचर बडिंग साइंटिस्ट हैं BIS के साथ जो जुड़े हैं वो उसको फॉलो करें, उसको आगे ले जाएं, ऐसा कुछ विजन सर आपका?
There are many, because in fact you more standardization one area, if you do more of it, you will explore, get into more unexplored areas.
Right.
And therefore, as we have done sufficient standardization, sufficient more channels have now opened,
Yeah.
and we'll have to continue to do work. For example, nowadays you see a lot of flooding happening in urban areas.
जी.
There is a riverine flood, there are urban floods also happening. So we have made a technical committee on urban floods. Our dams have become very old. Now we have constituted a new technical committee on dam safety, and therefore we are working on glacial lake output floods also. Because a lot of flooding is happening because of in the glaciers itself, lot of flooding. We have seen Kedarnath tragedy also.
जी.
So there are newer areas, difficult areas now we have stepped into, and I wish that we will able to continue working and successfully conclude the same.
जैसे जैसे हम और प्रयासरत हो रहे हैं, नए एरियाज और खुलते चले जा रहे हैं, तो सर स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन के फ्यूचर को हाउ डू यू परसीव इट, लाइक विद द अपकमिंग ऑफ दिस सस्टेनेबिलिटी कॉन्सेप्ट and quality control being more taken care of by the government per se. So how do you see the future of standardization in the coming years, sir?
देखिए, जहाँ तक मैं देखता हूँ, जो स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन एक टूल है, आप क्वालिटी चाहें तो क्वालिटी, अब आज की क्वालिटी की डेफिनेशन में सिर्फ क्वालिटी नहीं आता
जी.
अब स्टैंडर्ड्स में भी हम एड्रेस कर रहे हैं क्वालिटी के अलावा सेफ्टी, एक्सेसिबिलिटी एंड सस्टेनेबिलिटी. हमने स्टैंडर्ड्स बना लिए हैं, आज ऐसे स्टैंडर्ड बना लिए हैं जहाँ फ्लाई ऐश यूटिलाइजेशन होता है, जहाँ और वेस्ट यूटिलाइजेशन होता है, स्लैग का यूटिलाइजेशन होता है, कंस्ट्रक्शन एंड डिमोलिशन वेस्ट का यूटिलाइजेशन होता है. तो मुझे जहाँ तक समझ में आता है, स्टैंडर्ड एक ऐसा माध्यम है जिससे देश की और विश्व की कई समस्याओं का समाधान दिया जा सकता है.
बहुत अच्छे नोट पर आपने ये चीज़ बताई. और सर, जाते जाते आपकी क्या एडवाइस है फ्यूचर साइंटिस्ट के लिए, बिकॉज मुझे लगता है साइंस और स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन एक ऐसा टूल है जिससे हम जो भारत के डेवलपमेंट और विकसित राष्ट्र की श्रेणी में जाने के मार्ग को खोल सकते हैं. तो आपका क्या एडवाइस, क्या सजेशन है फ्यूचर जनरेशन के लिए?
देखिए, भारत एक विकसित राष्ट्र बनने के पथ पे प्रशस्त है, और 2047 तक का हमारा जो एक टारगेट भी है, ये तब तक नहीं हो सकता जब तक हमारे पास अच्छे स्ट्रक्चर्स नहीं होंगे, क्योंकि इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज़ द बैकबोन फॉर एनी काइंड ऑफ डेवलपमेंट. और वो तब तक नहीं हो सकता जब तक हम क्वालिटी, सस्टेनेबिलिटी, ड्यूरेबिलिटी इंश्योर, लॉन्ग लास्टिंग कैरेक्टर ऑफ आवर स्ट्रक्चर्स इंश्योर नहीं करते. इसके लिए स्टैंडर्ड्स बहुत ज़रूरी है, स्टैंडर्ड्स और उसका सर्टिफिकेशन. तो इसलिए मैं चाहता हूं जो आने वाले और वैज्ञानिक हैं उनके लिए मेरा एडवाइस ये है कि स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन एक बहुत ही अच्छा माध्यम है. इट्स ए गुड अपॉर्चुनिटी, इट हैज़ गॉट ह्यूज अपॉर्चुनिटी for serving the nation and for capacity building for the nation, and for career development.
बिल्कुल सही, समाज को कंट्रीब्यूट करने के साथ साथ अपना प्रोफेशनल ग्रोथ, पर्सनल ग्रोथ
जी।
दोनों साथ हैंड इन हैंड जा सकते हैं। सर, इट वाज अ प्लेजर, हमने आपके साथ चर्चा की और मुझे ये विश्वास है कि जो जनरेशन, यंग जनरेशन है, बडिंग साइंटिस्ट हैं और उसके साथ साथ हमारे स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, वो भी इस चर्चा से बहुत लाभान्वित होंगे। आई एम वेरी ग्रेटफुल टू you and wishing you a very healthy, happy and prosperous superannuated life from the entire BIS fraternity. Thank you for being with us, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you for inviting me.